Okay, everyone, here's the video for my title, which is COVID, Mental Health, and Recovery. These are the titles or the subjects that I'm using for this video because it's what I'm experiencing and a lot of other people right now during this pandemic. I really don't know where I'm going at with this particular video because I'm kind of numb. I'm kind of depleted, disoriented, you know, and these feelings are associated with not knowing, not knowing the outcome, not knowing if my coping skills I'm utilizing is going to get me through it. I know being in acceptance is something that they teach us in recovery. Acceptance is the key to all my problems today. But what am I accepting? Uh, well, most likely, this is the time we're living in right now. And with that said, I have to double down on my coping skills. It's very important, as I've mentioned in previous videos, that the social connection has to happen. When I find myself sometime and it's numbing out, going to work because I'm an essential employee. I'm just doing more robotic things, and I find myself at times not really in my body. And this is indicative of trauma, disassociation. These are things that when the reality becomes so big and so painful that we kind of can't take it in all at once. It's sort of a denial mechanism. If I take in everything, I would lose my mind, so I compartmentalize, which is not always a bad thing. But then there's some important things such as developing and creating social support and relationships because we are social animals as being human beings. And as we're going through this quarantine, and you see me always taking these deep breaths because it's almost like you always on guard, even when you don't know what you're on guard for. And these are the coping skills we developed early in our lives, which worked for us if we're at this point in our life. But those past coping skills may not be working for what we need to cope with today. So how do we readjust to this now situation that's going on? We also have fires here now in California. So where COVID was everything, as long as you were outdoors, you're pretty almost guaranteed not to catch it. Now you can't go outdoors because of the smoke and the ashes and the bad air quality. So, it's almost like we can't win here. It's almost like, what is it about this time that is asking of me? And the resilience that we have to have is what I believe is asking of us. We are that resilient, but we can't be that alone. So I always like to encourage everyone to take those deep breaths as we do this right now. And notice any resistance that we may have about that. Because that which is best for us, we have a uncanny thing of wanting to not do the healthy, but drawn to the unhealthy. And everyone, we can't afford to be drawn to the unhealthy right now because that is not what's going to work. Find those things that you can affirm that's wonderful in and around you. Acknowledge the beauty and the resilience and the courage it takes to get through one day with so many obstacles and barriers and traumas happening with us. I'd like to encourage everyone, if you wake up and get out of the bed, that's success. A lot of people's not making it that way today. Whether, COVID has got them in a hospital bed or feeling depressed, they can't get out their own bed, or addiction where there's no bed. We got to acknowledge that if you're watching this video, you are a winner. We are winners. And we don't get to take and dissect that of, well, what about the other people? And I shoulda, woulda, could not today. Today, I want to encourage you to know that what you're doing is enough. You are enough. Whatever those past traumas were are getting reactivated through this process, we get to say to ourselves, that was then and this is now. And I can give to me what was missing then. If I didn't get enough of, you're going to be okay, I get to tell myself, I'm going to be okay. If you didn't get the opportunity to someone to say to you that you matter, you get to say, I matter. Because without those strong affirmations, it's going to be almost impossible to get through this more as opposed to less when these situations are over. There will be an ending. We don't know when the ending's going to be, but for now, we got to be in the present, in the gift of now. There's lots of positive reading material out there. For those of us in recovery, get on those online meetings like you never got on before. We need to be around people who think like we think. People who's experiencing depression or experiencing anxiety or experiencing some type of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Find those that are experiencing those diagnoses and how they're getting through. You don't have to be alone through this process. It may feel lonely, but that does pass. Emotions always pass. And I said this before, trouble don't last always. So I want to encourage everyone to be the best you can be. And when people see that you're doing that, that gives them permission to do it also. I don't want you to be it's not important what I want you to be. I want you to not want you to be not available to you. I know that works best for me. I can get into these heavy times where, and I say it often, when is this going to be over? And every time I say that, I find myself tearing up. So what I would like to encourage all of us to do is to say, what does it matter when it's going to be over? For now, it's here. We're perfect, we're whole, and we're complete in the here and now. And when it's time for us to move to that next place in our lives, we'll be there. But it starts here. So, the 10 minutes about up, I want you to know that I love you, I care for you, and you are enough, and you matter. Thank you for taking the time, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.